Welcome to Lessons from the Cockpit. Let's get started. Hey everybody, welcome to Lessons from the Cockpit. I'm thrilled that you're here. For those of you who are joining us the first time, I'm Belinda Sandor. I'm the founder of the VA Connection, where I coach and mentor established and aspiring VAs to create, grow, and scale their businesses. And I work with my students in my free online community, my courses, and my coaching programs. And today I'm going to be your host for Lessons from the Cockpit. So let me know where you're coming in from. And also, you could be a huge help to me. A few of you know I tripped on, what's today? Sunday night, and I pulled my laptop computer onto the floor and cracked the motherboard. Just for fun, among other things. And so I'm operating off my laptop, and I think I am over capacity in terms of processing speed. So if you would let me know how this live video is working, if we're pixelated, if it's slow, if there's delays, that would be spectacular. And I'd also like to know where you're coming in from. So Tammy is here. Hello, hello, hello. All right, good. So welcome. And for anyone of you who may be struggling with what to do with the next chapter in your life, you'll definitely be able to relate to this. So this is me and my daughter back in 2010, and I had a failed business, a failed marriage. I'm getting divorced, and I'm about to turn 50. And the thing about it is that I felt like I was at at a cul-de-sac. Like I'm at a cul-de-sac and I keep going around in a circle and I can't figure out what to do. And it wasn't even living paycheck to paycheck. It really was more like moment to moment. Like I was just on what do they call it? A bed of pins all the time, right? And I'm thinking, what am I going to do? I'm really in trouble here. I want to take care of my daughter. And so I started looking for a job. And I can't believe I can't get a job. My entire life, I would go to a recruiter, check in with them, tell them what I wanted, tell them how much money I wanted to make. I mean, within reason. I always wanted a little bump in salary. And within 2 or 3 weeks, I would get the job. And this was just not what was happening. And I'm like, what the heck? In those 8 years that I had my own business, it's like the whole entire world changed. So I thought, all right, what am I going to do? So I decided I was going to temp. And temping is, it's contract work. It's freelance contract work. And what happens is the agency it's just like anything else. The agency that finds the job for you takes a cut of the work. And so I'm going into Boston, I'm taking public transportation. I'm feeling very productive, very proud of myself. I'm making money, but I'm not making enough. And I'm thinking, first of all, it kind of is like a job, and I hadn't had one in a while. So now I'm remembering the commute, buying lunch, the clothes, all the things that you need to have a job. And I didn't love that. And I also didn't love sharing the money, right? So I wanted to figure out a way to do that kind of work, but I really wanted more flexibility than the 9 to 5. And, the thing about temp work too, is that it's often last minute. Someone calls in sick, somebody's scrambling, you get a call at 7 a.m, you're on the train, right? And that definitely did not work for me. So I started, after being discouraged because I wasn't able to find a job, I thought, all right, so I'm going to just start telling everyone I know about this idea. I don't even know what I'm doing. I didn't have at your fingertips, what I provide for you in terms of learning how to talk about your work and how to price your services and the debit card and all those things. I was just winging it, right? Winging it. And so, I'm fumbling here because I'm remembering this moment. So I'm at the school bus stop, and one of the dads says to me, what's new? And I tell him about this idea. And the thing that's ironic is that he was so excited about the concept of me doing this kind of work because he needed help and I had no idea. And I'm going to tell you right now, if I had known that he had quit his job and started his own business, I wouldn't have told him about this business idea, because I was so like, I had this operating assumption that everyone thinks I want something from them. I do not know where that came from. Probably somehow at birth, I don't know. Somebody said something to me one time when I was 7, and I'm running my life according to it, right? We all do that, and we have to really cut it out. So I start working with Will. It's awesome. I'm making money. I'm helping him. I'm doing simple things that I already know how to do, like paying his bills, organizing the office, running errands for him, and installing software on his computers, and then mailing them to his employees. And I'm working part of the time in his office. I'm working the other part of the time in my home. He provided me with the computer, which is more like a job kind of a thing, but it worked, right? It worked. And so I'm loving this, and I'm thinking, what if this could really be a thing? So then I'm, of all places, at the buffet line at a wedding. I'm talking to this guy, I'm telling him about this idea. His wife is there. He gives me his card. I don't even have a card. Like, I am so at the beginning of this. And I connect with him on LinkedIn, which felt like I was asking him to marry me. I kid you not. It was such a big deal for me to step out like that. But I did it. I was like, you know what? Do it. Just do it. Just do it. So I did. And a few weeks later, he contacted me, and he needed help. And the story is longer, but the gist of it is that I helped him with the project. He was about an hour away from me. We worked a little in person, a little virtually, but then he needed me to help him with this really big project that lasted literally years. And it was all virtual, and I didn't know how to do it. He wanted me to set up a webinar series, and I said to him, I don't know how to do that. He said, yeah, but you figured out what we needed to do before. When it was an in-person event, I know you're going to be able to figure it out. Are you willing? And I'm thinking, are you kidding me? People are paying me. I'm working from home, and they're paying me to learn. I love learning new things, right? I love learning new things. And so there it was, virtual assistants, right? Absolutely. Absolutely. And the thing is that, so I'm cooking along, I'm doing a little in person, a little virtual, but then everything changed. And what that everything was my husband. So I meet my husband in 2012. And so I've been in business for about a year and a half, and he lives 164 miles away. And I'm thinking, well, this is not going to work, because he is a guy with a job. Like, he still is a guy with a job, and he works from home now. But for his entire career, pretty much, he commuted into New York City, took the train, hour plus each way. And that was the deal, right? That was the deal. So I thought, all right, I am really want to, be with this guy. We have a great relationship. I want this to continue. So I'm going to have to get busy figuring this out. And so I moved everything to the cloud, everything, figured out Dropbox, figured out credit card processing, figured out, everything, so that I could literally take a notebook with me and have everything at my fingertips all the time. And that was when I went 100% virtual. And that was a game changer. That was a game changer. And before I knew it, there was a ripple effect, and people are talking about me. And, because my work was dependable, it was steady. I kept in touch with people. I built relationships. I published a newsletter. I did all the things that I teach my students to do, because they work. Because they work. None of them are difficult. Well, let me rephrase that. Yeah, none of them are difficult. It's just not easy to do them consistently, right? And that's where VA School comes in, because with the consistency of meeting and talking about what to do next and what to do first, you get the support that you need. So this is us in the summer of 2021 when we got married. And the virtual assistant lifestyle made this possible. It really made this possible. Time flexibility, location freedom, doing work that I love with amazing clients who are willing to pay me. I mean, that was really the ticket for me, right? And because of this lifestyle and freedom, I've worked with hundreds of entrepreneurs all over the world and billed over 20,000 billable hours. I've made more than $1 million in 10 years. And now I help people just like you do the same exact thing. And from the beginning, Greg and I dreamed of owning our own home. And earlier this year, we bought this just charming farmhouse on 21 acres in Virginia on the coast of the Chesapeake. And if I didn't follow the plan, no, I did. If I didn't follow the plan that we set out when I got the idea that it was time for us to move, we wouldn't have been here. And at the core of it was time flexibility and location independence. And I didn't follow the plan of my life. It's interesting because at 50, I really had to reassess everything. Like, what am I doing? Because I started my path as a virtual assistant at 50. I had my daughter when I was 40. That's kind of unconventional. And I started, I became a homeowner at 63. I started this community at, how old was I? So it's been, I can't do backwards math, you guys. I must have been 58 when I started this community. And, you have to start thinking about, what do you want? It's not too late. No matter where you are, it's not too late. And, one of the things you have to do, though, is lean into what you want and do some things that might be unconventional or that you haven't heard before. So I'm going to talk about something today called informational interviews. So tell me in the chat if any of you have heard of informational interviews. And thank you for letting me know about the video and the sound. I appreciate that. Okay, good. Okay, now there are a lot of opportunities to spread the word about your work. One of them that used to be just sort of relegated to the world of getting a job was the informational interview. When you graduated from college, it's possible that someone said, just go meet with some of your mom or dad's friends who have jobs that are similar to yours and find out about them and, blah, blah, blah. And so this is where I first heard of the informational interview. And I never did that. My daughter has done that. She's doing it pretty regularly. She wants to be a veterinarian and she doesn't know what type. So she calls it, what does she call it? Not ghosting. I'm going to look because it's, she just texted me about it. Shadowing. So she job shadows. So she goes around with a vet on call and, and learns what they're doing for their particular specialty. So that's pretty cool. So it's not exactly like that, but this is how this works. Okay. So an informational interview is a conversation with a fellow entrepreneur. So someone else who's in business for themselves. All right. And it's usually what you think, because you don't know, is your ideal client. All right. So for me, that would be service-based professionals. So people who offer service to their clients, like nutritionists, financial planners, marketing consultants, like that. Okay. Now, how this works is that you schedule a meeting with them to tell them about your business idea. I just started a business as a virtual assistant. I would love to hear how someone in your industry might work with someone like me, learn more about your field. And, it's a really nice conversation. Now, you don't want to, when you're first starting out, you don't want to appear as if you're selling yourself, right? You don't want to be pushy and you don't want to seem desperate. None of us want that, right? And so this is a way to spread the word without any of that. Because tell me, who is worried about that? Some of you are worried about being pushy or desperate or, needy, right? There's a million words and you're all worried about it. And so an informational interview, like I said, it's just a conversation. Now, what you want to do is ask some of your friends, who do they know that's an entrepreneur who might be willing to speak to you? Would they be willing to introduce you? Now, I did that with a couple of friends who had been in business for a while. I went to them and I said, who should I know? Who are the people that you know that would be good for me to know as well? And so there was a brief introduction made, and then I scheduled the meeting. Now, I made sure that since they were doing me a favor, I went to them. So I went to their office, a coffee shop near them, whatever they wanted, I left it up to them. Okay. And so at the beginning of the conversation, once we sit down, the first thing I do is I say, thank you. Thank you for meeting with me. As a successful entrepreneur, I value your opinion and I'm eager to get your feedback on my new business, and I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me. Okay. And then you explain that you're a virtual assistant. You specialize in helping other entrepreneurs with fill in the blank, right? Your services. And you talk about your pricing, you talk about your marketing ideas, the works. Okay. Now, two wonderful things happen during these meetings. One is someone who is potentially an ideal client knows now in depth all about your business. Okay. And they know how it works, and you haven't been selling. It's more like, I have this idea. This is the business I'm starting. What do you think? Okay. Now you're going to get feedback from someone that you might like to work with, right? And that's really key. Now there's a danger in that as well, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But let's go through the keys to success for an informational interview. All right. So the first thing is you want to keep it short. So don't ask for or expect more than 20 or 30 minutes of their time, and make sure you're the one keeping an eye on the time. You want to be the one to end it on time. The second thing is you want to be prepared. So this is a great opportunity to talk about your work, and you want to practice, right? You want to be clear about your pricing. You want to be clear about your services. You want to be energetic about it. So this is not a true confessions. Well, I'm thinking about this, but I don't really know, blah, blah, blah. It's more like, I'm going to start out at $50 an hour. Say it with confidence, practice, right? Practice. The third thing is common sense, but I'm going to say it out loud. You want to dress professionally, whether this is a virtual meeting or in person, a nice professional top, accessories if you like to wear them. This is not, pile your hair on top of your head with a get stuff done bun. This is not what that is. You don't ever want to be casual when you're taking someone's time like this. The fourth thing I want you to think about is you want to have questions ready, right? For example, after you explain what you're offering, ask them, do they think that this idea makes sense for someone in their industry? Now, note, you're not asking them for work specifically. You're not saying, is this something you would like? Because you don't want to put them on the spot. Nobody likes that, right? So ask them about their work, show genuine interest about how it works, and then ask them how they think virtual assistants would fit into their industry. Now, you never want to ask them to hire you or refer you. The goal of this meeting is to understand how you might work with a person in their industry, and do ask them if you can put them on your newsletter list, because you want to keep in touch with them. All right. So you want to get them on your subscriber list. And then finally, thank them, right? Thank them, send them a thank you note, an email, a handwritten email the very same day, thanking them for their time. If you promised them anything like sending them an article or a link, do that within 48 hours. Now, I need to give you a feedback alert, okay? All caps. So even though you're going to be getting a lot of valuable feedback during these interviews, the feedback needs to go through the filter for the goals in your business, all right? So please do not turn yourself inside out and upside down with every comment or thought. The people you're talking to are experts in their field, but not experts in being a virtual assistant. So you just want to remember that, okay? Okay, that's critical. Because the thing is they might say to you, I don't see how you could possibly charge $50 an hour. Well, they're not an expert at how much you can charge. You're just telling them how much you're charging. So there's this fine line between explaining and getting feedback and really asking them their opinion, which you're doing, but you want to be careful how you phrase things, okay? And whether you agree or not, thank you so much. I really appreciate your input. This is very valuable. And when I started my business, I had a series of these informational interviews, and it was a big success. Many of them became cheerleaders for me. Some of them hired me, and they didn't hire me right in that red hot minute. But one of those people that I had an informational interview with is still a client today. All right. Still a client today, 14 years later. So think about this as a way to spread the word in a way that's not salesy or icky or any of those things. So let me know what you think. Have any of you heard about informational interviews? Is this something that you've thought about? Okay, let me know. I know there's a little bit of a lag. And while you're doing that, I want to make sure that you know all about the free 3-part training. We're going to have part 2 today. All right. You can sign up at vabusinesslaunchpad.com. It's a 3-part program. If you're just signing up today, it's completely fine. We've got you. We've got the replay. We have this new thing. It's called the Hub. It's super cool. Everything you need is at the Hub. All the replays, the links to join the lives. You post the homework there. It's like a big directory page, and we love it. So you'll get access to that after you sign up. So go over to the vabusinesslaunchpad.com. This is for you if you're thinking about starting a virtual assistant business. You don't know where to start. You've got, you're trying to figure out if this is the right path for you. You will definitely know at the end of this, I believe, and it's very valuable. So check it out. And if you've been a VA for a while and you just can't get momentum, I can help you with that as well. Good. Yeah. So Heather says, I love revisiting this idea. Good conversations and build up the cheerleader and referral bench. That's right. Absolutely. Okay. Good. All right. So I'm Belinda Sandor. Thank you for coming to Lesson from the Cockpit. I love this time with you all. Exploring new ideas, trying to figure out, really how to take your business to the next level based on the strategies and the processes that I implemented in my own virtual assistant business. So join me for the next episode of Lesson from the Cockpit right here. Same bat time, same bat channel next week. And until then, I'm Belinda Sandor signing off. Bye for now.